Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. As always, want to invite you to join us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, exclusive videos each week, and there's a series that's well underway right now with a lot of information that we view as being basic and knowledge everybody should have now that we've left the Kali Yuga and going into an age in which dimensions are merging. Literally, dimensions are merging. Cindy does feel the galactics will be channeling information through today, so we will be putting her under and seeing what comes up, and that'll be on Patreon as an exclusive. But the whole concept of these shadowy beings that may pop in and out of our existence, what are they? What are shadow beings? What are, what does the local environment look like if we could just see who's there just a little bit outside of the visible frequency range? Would you be terrified? Would you be excited? Oh man, it's just fascinating to think about. We've had all these weird things throughout history where Bermuda Triangle, planes go missing, boats go missing, people go missing. There are, when you look closely, unexplained disappearances that have never been resolved. And, is this part of somebody traveling through a wormhole? Can wormholes just develop anywhere at any time? Is there a dimensional merging going on right now? I do think the answer to that is yes. Many sources, not just us, have gotten that dimensions are merging when channeling from different entities like the Galactic Federation, the Devas, our spirit guides, and many people are doing this and getting the same info, that there is a dimensional merge going on. We've gotten from the guides that are very ether, from which all the manifest reality that we see with our own two eyes is changing and does change, that the very ether from which the other four elements spring is not the exact same in each yuga. In fact, it's very different. We've also gotten that time itself changes in each yuga. And I found it fascinating that after the guides gave us last year that the Kali Yuga ended on, again, April 8th, 2024, now I see other people getting channeled information saying, well, welcome to a new age, because the new age has begun in 2025. So, again, Cindy got this information over a year ago that, the Kali Yuga is gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. But we still have the system in place, even though the system is collapsing. So what we want to share with you is one of my favorite things in the morning is to see who came and visited us last night. And so, we feed the deer, we feed Rocky Raccoon and his brother Ricky. Rocky and Ricky, there's two raccoons that come every night. There's a skunk that comes, there's a possum that comes, and there's dozens of deer that come every single night. And you could see, I always go check the security footage and see what transpired last night. And here is Rocky, or maybe that's Ricky, and the girls. Again, it's fun. I've always enjoyed this. When I was up in North Carolina, I would do this, and me and Zeke would just sit there and look out the door and just wonder who's going to come tonight and spend some time with us. Well, we got an unexpected visitor last night, and it wasn't the usual visitors, as you see these beautiful beings here that truly, I just think it's a blessing when nature will trust you and come and spend time with you. We've had the guides give us messages through birds. For instance, when we were out in New Mexico, we were doing mantras and thinking about guidance from our guides, and Lakshmi sent thousands of birds to this one little cabin out in the middle of New Mexico. And so that was a clear message to me from Lakshmi and the guides. We've had a lot of interactions with different beings. We've shared with you one of our storage areas. We have 2 storage buildings. One of them, door opened up on its own. You could see a shadow figure, exit it. Actually, what Cindy's been able to find out is that shadow figure is actually a stranded ET, but the ET is just in 4th density, a little bit off of our visible spectrum, but close enough to where it's not hard for this entity to affect our physical reality and open doors and things like that.
I think right now is a time where it does concern me, because people need to be very well grounded when they run into this information. It can do a couple things to you. It can fascinate you, or it can really kind of mess you up in a way. And I think we have a responsibility to hold our emotions stable and not let that have us fly off in one direction or the other, because this is a natural thing that occurs. It should be treated as natural, just like, watching birds fly by, or, looking at flowers. It shouldn't throw anyone off, but I think it might in the beginning. But I just want to remind people to continue to ground yourself, and that you do have a responsibility for the way you behave and the way you interact with other people, and knowing these things in society. It's like we have to live in a world, let's face it, where most people do not believe in this. So we have to hold ourselves stable and do a lot of grounding. It's just sometimes when you see these things in the 3D, it can throw you a little bit. It throws me a little bit, but I'm very quick to ground myself. I'm very quick to reel myself back in, because I've been through a lot. And I've learned a lot about my emotions and how to keep them stable and how to react around other people. So I think as a channel, you kind of have to learn to do that, because you see so much information, and then you have to integrate it into people who are a little more mainstream, or people that are just not privy to it. So there's a fine line that we need to walk, and I think a lot of people are going to be going through it here, going through the Bronze Age. And I just keep going back to when the guides told me on April 8th of last year, welcome to the Bronze Age. We are here, and you're going to see a lot of malfunctioning technology. You're going to see a lot of different things. So I think it's, our responsibility to kind of guide people through this in a way where they can stay grounded in their world, still function in their world, and walk through their world with fascination instead of fear.
So last night too, when we were going to bed, Sita went crazy, and Sita can see into the other dimension. She could see stuff that's dimensional, like Cindy, and sometimes she confirms for Cindy, and probably Cindy confirms for Sita. So last night she went crazy barking, and I figured it was just the deer, and and it was deer. But then it was interesting because Cindy was seeing a big white dog, which she thought she saw a big white dog, which I went and looked at the security cam, and there wasn't a big white dog there, but that might have been something on a different density too, just a little bit off. So what I want to share with you here is what we caught last night. And there. Look at how fast. Now this tape is not sped up. This is actual one-on-one time. So this thing seems to be sped up. And look at it moving around. Shadowy entity. I mean, honestly, the impression to me is kind of like an animal again on the other side. Because it kind of does what the deer, and there it pops all the way over here. You could see it right over here putting down a shadow. Obviously, it's, this was at midnight, right past, just a little bit past midnight. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's see if we can slow this down, because this thing moves so fast. and it's got a real presence. Actually, it's probably the size of over there it appears to be the size of a wolf or something.
A dog.
Yeah, a big dog.
That's where I saw the white dog ran behind there.
She was seeing the white dog back in there with her third eye. So, this is curious. I think this is a perfect example of something that's, fourth density just a little bit outside of our visible spectrum.
Yeah. These are the things when you're a channel and you're normally seeing things through your third eye. These are things that can disturb people, and these are the things where I want to bring people calm and peace and help them understand that you should be more like have the attitude of fascination and that's kind of cool, instead of anything fearful. So that's what I want to bring to the table. I want to bring the ability to bridge these dimensions for people so that they're not afraid. We're looking at so many different understandings of Egypt, Vedic India, different cosmologies, different places around the world, understanding that our realities are going to blend. They understand that the veil is going to grow thin, and our understanding right now is of a 5D earth, and the veil is thinning. So this is what this looks like. It's very, very interesting. I find it so fascinating. And then some things that we've been really feeling lately is like a distortion of time. It's like some days are super, super slow, and other days are going by really, really fast. Let's think about the Mandela effect. Look how many Mandela effects there are, having a Groundhog's Day where things are the same day after day after day, and seeing strange synchronicities all the time, constantly. And then, increased intuitive abilities and psychic downloads. That's where I think people need help. They need a little guidance because they don't know what's going on. And I kind of walked into this world from childhood in a state of wonder, and then an adult of, oh my gosh, there's a lot of crazy stuff out here. So I had to readjust as an adult, but at least I had my childhood to go back and parallel on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've always seen stuff. Always. It goes back to childhood. It goes back, as you can see it down here, it's moving around.
It takes form, but not quite.
Yeah, it's almost taken form. I guess my earliest, once I saw something when I was in the crib. I do have a memory from being in the crib and feeling very uncomfortable. But then as a 5-year-old, after my brother had passed on, I saw an arm and hand just manifest and wave to me in his bedroom, and that freaked me out. And I've had visitations from different entities all my life, and Cindy has too. We've caught a lot on film. We've caught a jinn that literally did wipe out a whole herd of animals, and we've had so many different things. Why do we get it and some people don't? Well, I think this stuff is always around us all the time, and most people are just oblivious to it, or again, too much fluoridated water, too many things that affect your consciousness to not see things clearly for what they are. So many people are literally walking around like zombies, in that they're very, very unaware of their environment. They're so wrapped up in everything, including the technology. There it looked like it was kind of, it almost took form over there. Let's see if we...
Well,
It gets almost like close to manifesting. It's certainly moving about like an animal sniffing.
It is. Yeah.
Right about.
Just like a dog.
Just like a dog would do. Yeah, absolutely.
Then it gets small like a mouse in front.
Yeah, isn't that curious? So for us, it's just one more thing among thousands, literally thousands. A lot of our family members that we've had sessions with, they have these experiences every day too. It's just common. Again, if you're clear. And if you're working to clarify your perceptive abilities, you'll start to notice things more and more. Again, they want to always make us think, oh, you're just having an episode. There's something that will take care of it. Take this little white round thing, and you won't notice it anymore. All your nightmares will go away. Well, again, this is part of our real reality.
I think it works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because what it does is it lowers you into a frequency zone where the only thing that's going to be around you that you're going to be able to notice is very dark, entities. And so, of course, the dark demonic entities have been in control of this reality, and they want to keep you right around them. And, that's exactly what their goal is. So that right there, look at how physical that looks. That you see that?
One little dot. Yep.
So, again, to me, this shadow being, we could definitely classify this as a shadow being because very shadowy. But it hits me as very much more like an animal. Does feel kind of like, a dog or a wolf or something. And we do have coyotes and we do have foxes that, come through the property all the time. And here it is down close now. Now it's small, isn't it? But see, when you're outside of the physical body, yeah, absolutely. You can expand your energy field. You could contract your energy field. Closer to the house, it might feel like it needs to cover itself up. And it might feel like it doesn't want to be seen more. And it worries less about it when it's farther away from the house. So what do you guys pick up? That's what I want to know. What are you feeling, sensing, and seeing with this one? Here it's like, gosh, it's probably the size of a skunk here, and over there it's the size of a dire wolf. Very, very curious. We were drawn to this property. I was super captivated by this property because we didn't really intend to move again. But when I watched it and saw the price come down to the point where it was pretty much the same price as the property that we had picked, I couldn't pass it up, being so close to the lake and on the water, and also the Indian mounds that are nearby, or the giant mounds. We literally have mounds that have been documented and registered, as far as the historical societies, literally one block away from us. So we're right on the edge of them. A lot of times these are portal areas. So for us, it's a play zone and a research zone.
It really is. It's really interesting. I mean, some of the other things that we've caught on camera that we don't record, there was a couple of things that did kind of take me back a little bit, and it's fascinating. This is really our highlight of every day, is going to see who came to see us on the camera, and we love to see the deer, and we love to see Rocky Raccoon. And I am glad that we got our voices regular in the very beginning, because I wish we'd have got the time, because anybody could say, oh, they sped it up. But no, it's not sped up. You can hear our voices on the camera, and we're talking normally in the very beginning there, right before it shows up. I sensed it.
We're not technical wizards.
No, yeah. God, no. Anybody who knows us even a little bit knows that we have issues in that area. We are working on it. But yeah, I mean, this is really fun. It's interesting. I think what I see is a lot of information coming in, that the merge is happening, it's coming. But what real evidence do other people have to say, okay, in their 3D world, is it really happening? And I think this is one saying, okay, yeah, it is merging. Is it something to be fearful of? No. Is it something to, that should throw you off your path and just send you down a weird road? No, it absolutely should not. It should just give you that understanding that, yeah, we're walking into a different world, a different realm, and there's going to be more and more people who pick this up and understand that it's just a natural part of life, and it's okay. And there's more things out there than we were ever told and ever taught about. The solar system, our soul coming down from the solar system, going through each planet. I mean, our chakras are connected to each planet, and I see Earth as the root chakra. So we have the other planets that are up high, and then this planet, which is the root chakra, which is the densest. But as we move back up, I think these are the kind of things that we're going to run into, and it's definitely not something that should be fearful. Now, if something is making you fearful, I do think it's our responsibility to cut that off, because if you don't cut it off and stop giving it attention, it is going to continue to feed on you, because sometimes our light in our body, if we get a trauma, which is equal to a tear in this double membrane energy sac that we live in, if we get a tear in that membrane sac, it leaks light. And then these other beings can see that, and they can come along and they will feed on that light as long as you're giving it attention. So it's really important to continue to ground yourself. We all have a responsibility to ourselves to stay grounded, remain grounded. It's okay to ask questions, but things shouldn't throw us off. It really shouldn't. And there is a learning curve here. There is an adjustment time. There is a time where you might ask yourself questions like, whoa, is this okay? And that's okay. We all need to be curious. We all need to be curious. We all need a little bit of support here and there. It is a fascinating world. We should be in wonder like children, except for in my case, when I was a child, I thought everyone else could see all the things that I could see. So I didn't ask any questions. I didn't know to ask questions when I was little. And it wasn't until I was told that there was nothing there, that there was nothing there. So you see how manipulated we are from the very beginning. As soon as our feet hit the ground on this planet, the controllers are immediately teaching us what we can and what we cannot see. But they're losing control right now. Their grip is unraveling. And I think we need to keep that in mind too. We are a source of food for them. That's just a fact. If we allow it, and we have to understand that we have choices that we can make. If we allow it, that can happen. A lot of people need a lot of healing, including myself. So I'm going around doing my best to do as much healing as possible so I can be of service when someone else needs me. And I've been through enough stuff where, yeah, I can almost reach anybody wherever they're at any time, if they're truly on a healing path, if they truly want to heal and they're in their hearts and they're working from their heart center, then yeah, that can be reached and that can be worked with. And there's healing is such a beautiful, wonderful thing, because it's like a flower blooming. You see someone come out of their shell. You see someone figure out who they are. You see someone empower themselves. You see someone get strong, and I love it.
Absolutely. So again, so many of our myths and legends are actually very, very real. Maybe a little distorted, but this is a time when a lot of clarity will come into the picture. So really look forward to your comments on this one, guys. As always, we give you our thanks, and thanks for your support over on Patreon. Source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.